Father's Day right around the corner, I am joined by one fabulous dad who just so happens to be one fabulous coach, a man that needs absolutely no introduction from me. Coach Bobby McGowens, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for letting me be here. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to be with you.
With Father's Day right around the corner, I want to ask you, do you have any core memories or traditions from Father's Day?
I just remember spending time with my own father, whether we were at church or we went out to dinner after church, but just spending time with my father. I have an amazing father. He was my role model, so I didn't have to look outside the home to find my role model. So I just remember fond memories with my father and spending time with my entire family.
Mm-hmm. 3 kids, 3 Division I athletes, 2 professional athletes who spawned from 2 incredibly talented athletes. I mean, I think everybody wants to know, what's the secret? I mean, y'all's family is giving like LeBron and Savannah a run for their money over here. What's the secret?
I don't think there's any secret. I think they were gifted athletically, obviously, with their ability to move, run, jump. Those things kind of came natural, but just trying to make sure that Pam and I tried to impart the right things into them as players and as people. I feel like our experiences as former college athletes prepared us to prepare them to be ready for whatever the next step is. And whether that be from an athletic standpoint, from a social standpoint, whether that be from an academic standpoint, just trying to make sure that they had the right people around them that were headed in the same direction they were heading. But just trying to keep them grounded, humble, and understand God is always first.
As we delve into the McGowan story, obviously Bryce and Trey are making national headlines. Hello. We'll get into that in just a second, but we have to start at the top of the family tree. We have to start with Bobby and Pam's story. I mean, how does that begin? Where does that start?
Well, it began when we were in high school. Pam and I met, I think, my 10th grade year. She's same grade as I am, and we were connected by one of her family members, a cousin of hers. And then it started through church, and then we just established a friendship, and then became involved in dating each other, and it just took off from there.
Bryce and Trey have both made their own respective names for themselves. What has that evolution looked like from the very beginning?
It's been great. It's been amazing. It's been surreal to see all the work behind the scenes that a lot of other people don't see. They just see the end result. But to see that hard work, the 5 a.m.s, the 12s at night, the playing in the driveway, the sprinting of the hills. When we stayed in Pendleton, they used to run a hill at least weekly. That was pretty steep. I mean, just trying to make sure they were tough mentally and physically, because in order to achieve what you want to achieve playing collegiate sports, you got to be mentally tough as well as physically tough. So just trying to impart that wisdom, that toughness, that intestinal fortitude, that will to win, that will to compete, and not giving up, and just keep forging forward.
I want to touch on something that you actually posted on Instagram about yesterday, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Bryce,
Yeah.
there was a picture of Bryce, and he's in 4th grade. He's holding up a sign that says he wants to be an NBA player one day. What is that full circle journey like? Being able to see it from the very beginning, when it was maybe just a far-fetched goal of his, to where he is now. What's that full circle journey been like?
It's been amazing, to see a kid who has worked extremely hard to get to where he is right now. He has put in a lot of work, a lot of hours in the gym, trying to make sure he took care of his body, trying to get stronger. To see him go from that string being skinny, short player at the time when he was in middle school, and just grow 9-10 inches once he got to high school, and to see his game just grow and evolve, it was amazing to see. But to see that determination in elementary school, I'm not surprised by the end result, because he worked extremely hard for it.
Now you got 2 older sons that get a ton of recognition, and rightfully so, but you also have a daughter. What's that bond between y'all like? I feel like is that a different dynamic than between you and Bryce and Trey? Like what's that like?
I think our bond is very different. You know, being a father of boys, you know, I have to be very stern, firm, nurturing, but just to make sure that they are able to one day successfully run their own household when they become family men, when they have children. So I have to make sure that they understand the expectations of a father, trying to set that example in my own home in terms of how to lead and how to provide that tough love sometimes, but also be kind, nurturing, and try to support them as much as I can, as well as I can. But with Raina, not being as tough, but being more of a nurturer, spending more time with her, probably more hugs than she would like. But I think I've grown because of my experiences, you know, raising 2 boys. I've grown I think I'm a better father now for Raina. Just trying to have more patience than I had maybe with the boys. And I'm still growing in that area.
You have coached a ton of prominent other guys outside of just your family. You've done some football coaching. What's that like? Being able to coach up guys that might have been in the same spot that your sons were at. What's that like? And maybe being a father figure that some of them don't have.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing because when I think about what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for 12 plus years, I think of the opportunities that I didn't have when I was a high school, middle school athlete. I didn't have anybody that could teach me a drill, teach me a skill to help prepare me for the next level, to create that separation from one athlete to the next athlete. Say, okay, that guy is special. You can tell he's been coached up by somebody. And for my kids, when they go to camps and their parents and they communicate with me that so-and-so coach at so-and-so university said, I can tell he's working with somebody. Who is he working with? That tells me I'm doing my job. I'm preparing them for the next level. And I just want to get the best out of them. You know, I'm very challenging. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm going to let them know when they're messing up, and then I'm going to get them to repeat it till they fix it. So it's a blessing. I love working with my athletes. Right now, I currently have about 60 college receivers and tight ends. It's been a blessing to see their progress, to see their growth, and I'm thankful God has given me this opportunity.
Let's talk about the name McGowens. When people hear of that name, even myself, I think it very often becomes synonymous with basketball. I think those 2 words are linked. What do you think is the legacy you guys are leaving behind?
I think the legacy of hard work, dedication, maintaining a level of humility, keeping God first. We're God-fearing people. And we just try to treat everybody right, try to treat them nicely, try to be kind, courteous. But we will let our yay be our yay and our nay be our nay. We're going to be people that are going to stand firm and, you know, say what we believe. But we're not going to back down from that. And what we believe is God prepared us for this day to lead 3 children to the next generation.
As a father of 3 extremely successful children, what are your hopes for them?
My hopes for them is to be successful adults. I'm a school administrator. I'm a school educator of 23 years. So my goal for them is the same goal I have for my students. I want them to one day be successful, responsible, respectful students and citizens in our community and throughout our country. So that's the same I want for my kids, to set the high examples. And sometimes I think as fathers, you know, we have to sometimes put our own goals, you know, on the back burner. And I recall being a middle age, and it was mid-30s, early 40s, when I had an opportunity to pursue and aspire to be a principal at whether a middle school, high school, and it was a pivotal time of my kids' age. They were elementary school, middle school, and I had to make some decisions because I had some opportunities to move 2, 3, 4 hours away in another part of the state to fulfill that goal of being a principal. And I decided that, dividing my family, moving my family, doing some of those things which will take away from spending time with my family was not the most important thing at that particular juncture in my life. And I don't regret it one single moment. That I know I made the right choice, choosing my family over my job.
Mm-hmm. One last thing, let's finish on just the impact that fathers have. I know my dad is the reason why I'm able to do what I do every single day. He got me into football at a very young age. And why do you think it's so important to have such a positive father figure in your life?
I think it's extremely important because when you've got a strong father figure in your home who believes and trusts in God and try to lead by example, sets high expectations for the family, for all the kids, shows equality across the board, whether you're Raina or Trey or Bryce, we're going to treat you equal, and we're going to love on you, we're going to support you, but we're going to tell you when you're doing wrong, and when you're doing wrong, there are going to be consequences for that, just like in life. So just being as real as we can with our kids, getting them to understand that, life is very difficult, it's tough, it's challenging, there's going to be roadblocks, there's going to be obstacles and hurdles to overcome, but you got to be really ready to get knocked down and get back up.
How rewarding is it to be able to see your sons grow up and play in the NBA? I mean, I feel like that's a goal that everybody has at some point, a dream. How rewarding is that to be able to see those guys, the guys you coach, the daughter that you're able to coach? How rewarding is that for you?
It's extremely rewarding because, again, it's just peels back the layers of hard work. Some of the hours that you don't realize that you're spending in a gym 3 hours consecutively, or the amount of time that you've got to be on the road for travel basketball or in hotels and, expensive flights. I mean, there are some sacrifices financially that you have to undertake, but you do it because you want to put your kids in the best position to be successful. You don't want to have any regrets, and I don't have any regrets.
All right, well, that's a good note to end on. Thank you so much, and happy Father's Day.
Thank you.